Welcome to PickApps how-to video on item sync. In this video, we're going to learn how to create a two-way sync between one board to another. Part 1 of the video, we'll see how to create a one-way sync using the automation recipe. And the second part of the video, we'll learn how to create the two-way sync using the board sync settings. In this demo, I am going to show you how to create a sync for a marketing use case, but of course, you can use it for anything you need. So in my example, I have one board that shows me the campaign tracking and status. I have a list of campaigns, and then I have the copywriter task board. And every time a copywriter updates a task on the campaign, I want it to be reflected on the campaign tracking. That way, I can have a high-level view of what's going on with the campaign's progress. The first thing we want to make sure is to have a unique identifier between the items, or as we call it, the key column. In my example, it's a campaign ID. So if we take a look at this campaign ID for full holiday promotion, on the board copywriter tasks, we have the same exact campaign ID. And of course, the key column can be anything else you want to. It can be the same exact value of a status or anything else that you select. Now that we set up the key column, the recipe automation should be set up on the destination board, which in our case, it's the campaign tracking and status board. I'm going to open the Integrate Center and search for item sync. We're going to scroll down and open the item sync. We're going to select this recipe. When this column from this destination board, so as we said, in my case, it's the campaign ID. So when the campaign ID from this destination board matches another column from this source board. So let's first of all choose the source board, which in my case is the copywriter task. And now I'm going to select the campaign ID. So when this campaign ID from this destination board matches this campaign ID from this source board, sync all columns that have the same column title from the source to destination. So what it means is that every column with the same exact column name or column title are going to be synced. Now let's see it in action. So over here is my campaign tracking and status, and over here is the copywriter task. Let's take a look at the campaign full holiday promotion with the same campaign ID. So now if I change this platform column to Facebook, because this platform has the same name here, platform, it's going to update this as well. Now that we set up the automation, we need to go ahead and set up the two-way sync. We're gonna go to our workspace, and we will notice that when we downloaded the app, this folder of workspace apps has been added. Inside, we have the item sync workspace view. In this view, you can easily see which boards are synced and also which columns are synced to one another. To create a two-way sync, we are going to click on the Edit button in order to open the board sync settings. Now let's go over the settings and see what we have here. First of all, we can see our source and target board to make sure we are in the right place. Then we have the source board key, which is our column of the unique identifier between the items. Over here, we can see that the sync direction is by default a one-way direction that syncs all columns that have the same column name or column title. So this is where we change the sync direction. We're gonna go ahead and select a two-way sync. And now we can either save it on syncing all columns with the same name, or we can manually select which columns we want to sync regardless of how the column is named. Meaning we can now sync columns with different names. Please notice that you still need to select the columns even though they have the same name. So for example, I want to sync platform to platform, campaign timeline to campaign timeline, but in my case, I also want to sync owner between copywriter, and also status between copy status. Don't forget to save the settings, and now let's see it in action. So as we said, this is going to be a two-way sync. So not just from our source, the copywriter, into the destination campaign tracking, but a two-way sync. So over here, I'm going to change my platform to Instagram, and it's going to change here as well. And now I'm going to change this back to Google, and it's going to change here to Google as well. Let's also see a sync between columns that are named differently, like the copywriter and owner. So I'm going to select an owner, Benjamin, and now it's going to be updated in here as well. So in this how-to video, you learned how to create a two-way sync. If you have any other questions or if you want help setting up this use case, feel free to reach out and the PickApps team would love to help you.